Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Turnpike Sports Book Report. The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to another edition of the Book Report, where we're going to talk about some state and national reports for sports betting revenue and handle numbers. We've got legislation to talk about. Boy, do we got legislation to talk about, and a whole bunch of deals.
Yeah, no, one was in the news, the state we're very familiar with, where we have an actual law office in, and that's Massachusetts, but I don't want to skip ahead.
Well, no, we might as well just jump right into it. All right. Everyone, has been talking about Massachusetts for God knows how long. And, I think at last count they had something like 14, 15 bills in the legislative areas where it was all for sports betting, all different types of bills. And just last week, let me get the number right, the House introduced H3974, the brand new sports betting bill that basically condenses 12 different bills into one.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you. I wasn't expecting them to come out with a bill that made sense in a lot of different areas to a lot of different people, especially on the House side. Well, the House has actually never been the problem for sports betting, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. I mean, just because it passed the House doesn't mean Massachusetts has legal sports betting now. I guess it has to move to the Senate, and when the Senate takes that up, God knows when the Senate will take that up. So it's up to the Senate to schedule it. Right now, I haven't heard anything when the schedule will be on their docket to debate and possibly vote on sports betting. So it's still kind of up in the air.
Well, let's go through some of the aspects of this new bill. I don't know if you can call it a new bill. It's like I don't even want to call it a Frankenstein bill because it's 12 different bills put together.
It was a big mishmash of kind of different bills.
First of all, it passed the House 156-3.
All right.
So everybody liked it, obviously. Or just about everybody liked it, I should say.
I wonder what the problem was for the 3 that voted against it.
Given that there was about a dozen or so bills in there, the 3 probably did not have their bills part of this. That might be the problem. I don't know. But for whatever reason, 3 people voted no against it. But
from early indications, we were talking about it has to now move on to the Senate. There are some state senators who don't like this bill, who stated that they will be opposing it. I don't know how many state senators will be opposing this bill, but it's not a unanimous slam dunk kind of bill going in.
When it comes to the Massachusetts Senate, that has always been the roadblock to sports betting in the state. And it's a matter of some senators want money going this place, some senators want the money going to another place, some just don't like the idea of sports betting.
And meanwhile, all the Massachusetts sports betting money is either going to New Hampshire or Rhode Island. So they better get on the ball pretty quick. And, and soon to be Connecticut now. So they're going to be losing money if they don't hurry up and pass this bill.
Well, one state that it's not going to go to is Maine because they sat on their bill and they are not even going to talk about it till the next legislative session, which is going to be January 5th or something.
Okay.
So they're not even going to talk about it for sports betting. So that one's kind of dead right now. But regarding the Massachusetts bill, they're actually calling for not only casinos to have sports betting licenses and racetracks, but they're also looking at an untethered market for online sports betting.
Okay.
Which actually is kind of an interesting twist to this. Right now, it's there are going to be 3 different licenses, one for casinos, and each casino can have 3 skins.
Okay.
3 skins are the online sports books, I should say. The racetracks can get a sports betting license, and they will be able to get a skin themselves. So
now,
each racetrack will have one mobile partner, basically.
Now, according to the bill that was passed in the Massachusetts House, will the racetracks be able to get an actual physical sports book on its property?
According to this, they get a sports betting license to do something like that.
Okay. Right.
I think you still got to hammer out some of these things.
By the way, this is all still speculative because the Senate hasn't had their say in it, and I'm sure this is going to change when the Senate gets their hands on it. So
the one thing that I found interesting, and let's just go through a couple other things. They're going to have betting on professional and collegiate sports.
Okay.
No player props for college sports.
Okay.
Let's see. Betting age of 21. Bets placed within Massachusetts on motor racing, esports, competitive video games, and any other event approved by the Massachusetts Gaming Commission. License fees are kind of interesting. It's, let's see, $100,000 application fee, $5 million initial fee for a license, and then another $5 million to renew after 5 years. The first-time fee is going to be $4 million if they pay a $1 million temporary sports betting fee to maintain sports betting while their license is being worked through.
Okay.
So it drops it down a little bit. They did manage to throw in a problem gambling aspect to the bill, which is actually really nice to see. Not a lot of states have this set out right at the very beginning. Mobile operators have to pay an annual fee of $1 million for problem gambling in the state.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is everything that passed the House. Now the Senate gets their shot at it, and they get to add, subtract, and debate, and let's see what happens.
Well, like I just mentioned with Maine, where the governor has always been the stumbling block, in Massachusetts it's always the Senate. We'll see exactly what happens there. Let's move over to Illinois.
Okay.
Now, Illinois has sports betting, retail, online. Chicago does not. And an alderman in Chicago has now introduced an ordinance that would lift Chicago's ban on sports betting.
Good.
His bill would establish parameters for the city to issue the licenses and make money from it. According to his bill, sports betting would be authorized at Wrigley Field, Guaranteed Rate Field, Soldier Field, the United Center, Wintrust Arena, or in a permanent building or structure located within a 5-block radius of any of those places.
Great, that'd be fun.
So I was kind of waiting for this to be introduced earlier. If you think about it,
sure.
Why hasn't Chicago pushed for sports betting within the city limits?
Well, that's coming. That has to come pretty soon. So,
well, he's actually gone all the way and said you can. Listen to this one. No more than 15 kiosks at a location unless the kiosks are also selling food and drink. You can have more kiosks if they sell food and drink as well.
Okay, all right.
That's an interesting little...
okay.
Wagering would be prohibited from midnight to 10 a.m., Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, midnight Friday to 9 a.m. Saturday. And then 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. So they're actually placing limits on when you can place a bet. It's not 24/7.
That's kind of tough, in the...
it's kind of smart, though, to start off with. You can always expand it.
But you got to remember, I heard an interesting thing about college football. The most bet on college, believe it or not, is the University of Hawaii. Because that's always the last game. It's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. After you lose your games all day Saturday... Where can you make up your money? The very last game of the day, and that's usually University of Hawaii.
Well, that's kind of interesting. Hawaii is one of the few states that doesn't have sports betting yet.
Well, I mean,
they don't have any casinos either.
But in New Jersey and Vegas, and that they say that's the most bet on university.
Well, moving on to other states before we get out of our legislative section here, Arizona and South Dakota are moving right along. they have approved rules. They're going to have final regulations posted soon. They are both on target for the beginning of football season.
Arizona is really moving quick.
Well, so is South Dakota. South Dakota's
I know,
right there with them.
But I see Arizona's in the news every week. So, good for them.
Well, it's kind of nice to see states moving around. I think Connecticut's moving too. I think we're going to hear something pretty soon from the Connecticut Lottery. By the time this airs, we may hear something from the Connecticut Lottery about who their sports betting partner is.
Yeah, no, that should be. Well, the big one up in New England is DraftKings because they have their corporate headquarters in Boston. So they're certain, and they have
DraftKings is already with Foxwoods,
and they have free reign in New Hampshire. So I think you're gonna see DraftKings a lot. When we're up in Massachusetts, we see a lot of commercials for DraftKings.
Well, DraftKings is with Foxwoods.
Yeah.
FanDuel is with Mohegan Sun. No one knows who the Connecticut Lottery is going to take. Mm-hmm. So that actually should be interesting. I mean, you might see, some outlier come in. Maybe PointsBet, maybe BetMGM might be the logical choice.
Yeah, certainly.
For partnering with the lottery.
And look, hey, William Hill's always out there too. The
Caesar Sports, you mean?
Certainly.
Caesar Sports.
Well, Caesar Sports, but William Hill was. I always think of William Hill. Like I still say San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
Instead of Caesar Sportsbook, I say William Hill.
Hey, sometimes I catch myself saying New Jersey Nets.
I'm still on the Oakland Raiders kind of thing.
So, we'll see what happens. I'm just curious to see if they follow through with plans in Connecticut to turn the Hartford Center into a betting center.
Hey, why not?
Which actually would be one of the coolest things, especially in the Northeast.
I just drove through Hartford, and it's a great city, so can't wait.
It's always under construction, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to some deals. We actually had some really interesting deals made over the last couple of days here. Barstool Sports, let's start there. We're going to stay in Arizona. We just talked about Arizona for a little bit. Barstool Sports, or actually, I should say Penn National Gaming.
Oh, is this the racetrack?
And NASCAR did a deal. The Barstool Sportsbook will become the exclusive sportsbook of the Phoenix Raceway in Arizona. Now, Penn National was NASCAR's first betting partner, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So this was actually kind of a long time coming for this.
It was a logical decision. It's normal and natural fit, call it.
Well, it's always interesting to see how long some of these take. And these two have been partners for a while. You're going to see Barstool Sports on-track signage. Also, Barstool will be promoted through NASCAR social and digital channels. And then in exchange, you're going to see Barstool carving out NASCAR stuff, especially for the Phoenix Raceway. So we're going to start seeing a lot of different...
a lot of these deals are almost boilerplate now. It's signage, it's data, it's, social media, it's broadcast, it's I wonder if, the gaming attorneys, we should have this on, just on our computer and just print it out and just change the names.
You mean just fill in the blanks?
Just
kind
fill
of
in
stuff?
the blanks.
Find and replace.
Yeah, there you go.
So, congratulations to NASCAR and Barstool Sports. Joe Solofsky over there at NASCAR has been doing great work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is NASCAR's 9th partnership for sports betting in what they call... I didn't know Arizona was the Copper State.
No, I did not know that.
I did not know that Arizona was the Copper State. Let's go over to DraftKings. The other big company that's huge into sports betting is the PGA Tour.
Yes.
And DraftKings and PGA just did a pair of deals, which is kind of interesting to announce 2 deals at the same time, but they are kind of related because some of the same things are going to be happening at both tournaments. PGA Tour named DraftKings the first betting operator of the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Mm-hmm. Boy, what a long name that is.
Yeah.
August 2nd to the 8th at TPC Southwind. Another golf course that they're planning on doing some retail stuff with. Also, they were named the official betting operator of the Northern Trust, which is about 10 days after the FedEx St. Jude Invitational.
Okay.
August 18th to the 22nd at Liberty National Golf Club. DraftKings will have hospitality suites called, I want to get the name right, the DraftKings House.
Okay.
At both tournaments. They're going to be like food and drink.
Okay, are these going to be big tents
they're
outside
have
kind
tents.
of thing? Okay,
cool. You know what?
I like that.
I want to say tents, but they could be actually sort of temporary structures. But they're going to be having them at both events, and they're going to have food and drink. They're going to have meet and greets. They're going to have fan interactions, that sort of stuff there. Right, so it's going to be a really cool little addition to those tournaments. Also, what's going to happen at the Northern Trust. DraftKings will be hosting their Fantasy Golf World Championships at that event.
That's something I don't do well in, fantasy golf. I seem to be really bad in fantasy golf. I mean, I apparently I don't read up and study enough to do well in it. But no, I enjoy playing fantasy golf, but I don't win a lot of money on it.
Well, they're going to.
I like betting on it.
They're going to have 40 fantasy players
competing
for prizes of a total prize pool of $4 million.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. It'll take place
I should start studying.
I'm actually curious because this is an in-person fantasy tournament. Do they have to remain there all 4 days of the tournament to
I don't know
participate?
how
or can you fill out your card and let it go?
I interviewed a lot of fantasy experts and things like that, and they were all taking part in these, these tournaments. And they're there on site, but you're not there all the time, and in the actual room of it. But I don't know how they're all set up like that.
Top prize. The number one fantasy golf player will win $1 million.
Wow, boy.
At this tournament, but it's a total player pool of 40 players competing for $4 million in prizes.
Fantasy is tough because you're competing with a lot of. I don't want to call them professional fantasy players, but I guess they are professional fantasy players. They have some of the most sophisticated software to help them out in these things. So, if you don't have that kind of thing, and if you don't have the kind of time you need to research all this, I mean, it's a really difficult task doing well in fantasy.
So basically you're saying they're either playing fantasy or launching a rocket.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work to do fantasy,
Well, it's a lot tougher than people think.
Yeah,
if you've never played fantasy, it is a lot tougher. And I'm not saying anything new here.
That's why I'm in awe of these top fantasy players. I mean, they do really well. They do really well on a consistent basis, which is even more difficult to do. So good for them.
Let's head back over to Arizona for a second. We have PointsBet. PointsBet just did a deal with the Cliff Castle Casino Hotel in Arizona to do to work together with the Yavapai Apache Nation to get a sports betting license for online sports betting.
Is it Yavapai or Yavapai?
It could be.
I always said Yavapai.
I mean, I see that PAI, and I want to say Pi.
Oh, okay. I say Pei, Yavapai.
So it's a Native American tribe. It's actually a very nice casino out there.
Okay.
I took a look at their website, and I've never been there myself, but it's actually a very beautiful place. And this now marks the 16th state for PointsBet.
Yeah. I remember when they launched in New Jersey. Was that their first state?
That was that was their first state.
Yeah, so,
and also it's their very first state to launch an online casino. They just announced that as well.
All
so
right.
New Jersey's like their proving ground.
Yeah, they have an online casino now that went live. Good for them.
And we have also another deal. We have IGT. Now, IGT provides that Play Sports platform. It's the technology running the sports books. IGT just announced that they did a deal with the Ute Mountain Casino Hotel, where that casino will have the IGT Play Sports powering their sports books.
Okay.
This is now. Listen to this. IGT Play Sports is now currently powering more than 40 gaming outlets across the United States.
Wow.
So
when I think of IGT, I mean, I guess they made their name in slot machines, right?
Yes.
I think of slot machines when I think of IGT, and also they're involved in lottery in a lot of places. So it's amazing what they're doing in the sports betting field.
Well, they are now in Colorado powering that, and let's talk one last big deal. Sport Radar and Bally's Interactive.
Okay.
5-year partnership. Sport Radar will provide Bally's Interactive with access to its complete pre-match betting services, live betting services, content solutions. Basically, it's going to allow Bally Bally's Interactive and Ballybet to offer even more secure transactions, better options, more up-to-date options in terms of in-play betting. And so another big deal for that. And also racing, horse racing. Let's William Hill. Let's hit this last one, then we'll talk about some numbers too. William Hill became the title sponsor of the inaugural Racing League.
Okay.
It's the United Kingdom's horse racing industry's first team-based competition.
Wow, team-based okay.
Team-based horse racing.
How is this working? Is this like a NASCAR thing where the different NASCAR teams kind of have several cars, or is a team going to have several horses of thing?
That's exactly what it's going to be.
Okay.
The Racing League will feature 12 teams riding in 36 handicap races over 6 weeks.
Okay.
So William Hill has secured the title sponsorship for the brand new Racing League.
So this is in the UK, right?
This is in the UK. It includes the competitions, at Newcastle, Doncaster, Lingfield Park, and Royal Windsor. So some of the big racing venues are going to have William Hill signage. You're going to see William Hill promos, that sort of situations over in the UK. You know, it's basically the same stuff that you see in the United States now with title sponsorships. Uh-huh. But the fact that they're doing team-based horse racing, I'm actually curious to see how well this works. I've never heard of team-based horse racing.
Well, yeah, I compared it to NASCAR. I wonder if they're going to follow that model. If they follow that model, I think it'll do very well.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. One launch I want to talk about real quick, and it's not really a launch. It's actually Michigan added to their approved sports betting list. And I thought it was interesting what they added. They now are permitting sports betting on the Olympics. Everybody is.
Okay.
And also they did the hot dog eating contest.
Okay. I won money on that, by the way.
They're now permitting sports betting on the American Ultimate Disc League. Frisbee football, basically.
Okay, Frisbee football. I think we talked about this either last week or the week before. You know, during the pandemic, I was watching every sport imaginable, and one of those sports was almost like Frisbee golf. You know, they had discs.
That's called disc golf.
Okay, it's called disc golf. That's why. Okay, this is something completely different.
This is. By
football. The way, I was captivated by disc golf whatever it's called.
This is Frisbee football.
Okay, all right.
And actually, I've actually seen this on TV, and it's actually kind of fun to watch. It's probably really interesting to play.
Is it like a flag football kind of thing?
It's like flag and tag football.
Is it tackle?
No tackle.
No tackle.
Okay. That would actually be very interesting to watch. Now that you bring that up. Also, drone racing. You can now. They're allowing drone racing betting in Michigan.
I've seen that on TV.
The one thing that's still pending is the American Cornhole League.
Oh man, you have to have cornhole. We interviewed
Stacey Moore.
Stacey Moore, yeah, from the American Cornhole Association.
Yes,
and they did a deal with
the American Cornhole League.
American Cornhole League.
He's the commissioner.
He's the commissioner. They did a deal with DraftKings, which was an absolutely amazing deal. So cornhole is an up and coming sport. It's fun to watch on TV, by the way.
Well, I actually loved. As soon as we had them on. The American Cornhole League. I started watching it on TV, and I started seeing DraftKings everywhere. And also, their first live event was held in I think it was the South Point in Las Vegas.
I don't know, but it's fun to watch. I'll tell you that.
It's actually a really cool sport.
Once you put it on, you can't take it off. You see the first couple of throws, and you want to find out what happens at the end there. So, it's a fun sport to watch.
A couple of news and notes on some of the sports betting numbers before we get out of here for the week. Virginia Lottery provided their second sports betting update since their launch. This is an overall outlook picture.
All right.
They haven't reported their numbers for June yet. Supposedly they're going to be doing that around August 1st. So the big numbers that came out of there was the top sports book in Virginia is FanDuel, with almost 50% of the market.
Wow.
DraftKings had 25%. BetMGM came in third with 16%. So, but it kind of makes sense because FanDuel and DraftKings are the two longest running books.
Sure.
In the Commonwealth there. So, but FanDuel 50% of the market. That is just an amazing number.
It's impressive.
Pennsylvania, they actually since launch have now taken $8.1 billion in online and retail handle.
Well, it's a huge state with big cities.
Only 2 states have taken more since the time since Pennsylvania has launched, and that's New Jersey and Nevada. So they're right there.
They're up there.
I think you're going to probably see Michigan coming up pretty quick,
Sure.
and the way Virginia's moving.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting to see them move. Washington, D.C., real quick. The only reason I'm bringing up Washington, D.C.'s numbers, it was the first month for BetMGM.
Okay.
BetMGM launched in June. Online handle, $15.7 million from William Hill, $376,000 from BetMGM. So that's the non-Gambit numbers. Gambit's the one run by the Washington, D.C. numbers, the Washington, D.C. lottery. They always separate out the non-Gambit from the Gambit numbers.
Okay.
So, but they actually, June sports betting handle was up 42% from the previous month. That's in June, 19.5 million compared to 13.8 million. So they're actually moving in the right direction. And let's see, over in Michigan, online sportsbook handle was 235 million in June, down just 1% from May.
Okay.
And everything's moving along in their state there. They're actually getting live dealers now. They just announced live dealers coming to Michigan
for their online casinos.
For the online casino side of everything.
That's big in New Jersey, I'll tell you that. Everyone loves the live dealers.
And we mentioned New Hampshire at the top of the segment here. Handle for June in New Hampshire was $39.3 million, down 7% from May. The notable thing there is it's their third straight month of declining handle. Now, I think that's more a sports betting calendar.
That's summer months.
Yeah, that's the calendar
once football starts, they'll be
their beloved Patriots.
And let me tell you something. And the Red Sox are doing well when the MLB playoff situation heats up. I think they'll be those numbers are going to go way high.
Well, that's it for this week's book report. If you have any news or notes, feel free to send them over to us, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll include them on the next episode of the book report.
And that'll do for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.